Hey everybody, welcome into Northern Life here with Briggs and Ryan. I am Hunter. Thanks for joining us here as we say goodbye to February and hello to March. That's what it's called. Hello, March. What's going on?
March? How you doing? We're here. We're ready for today.
Man,
It is the first day of meteorological spring.
Is it too?
Whoa.
So there we go. It's March 1st, first day of spring. It feels like spring today. Highs in the 40s and 50s. And
Nice.
not to brag, but it's also my birthday month coming up here in March.
Excited?
Yeah, I'm super excited.
What day is it?
It's I think it's next Friday. I think.
Okay.
March
The
8th. Well, yeah, March 8th.
That would be the 8th.
Is that
I was gonna
next
say, can
Friday?
you give us a number?
I forget when my birthday is.
Do you have big plans for your birthday yet? Are you a big birthday guy?
I think we're going to. Oh, I am a big birthday guy.
Okay.
I love my birthday. But
birthday.
so we're going to be hanging out with a bunch of friends and kind of doing some possible bar hopping in Superior. Might be our
Whoa.
plan. So
All right.
we'll see what happens. I'm really excited. It's
I'll
a lot
be
of fun.
anxiously awaiting my invite.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing on March 8th.
Bring it in.
Heading over the bridge. Coming up on today's show, we're back with our Top 5 Friday list today, sharing our anti-bucket list items. And for Briggs, we'll hear why she does not want anything to do with the city of Boston, Massachusetts.
This video right here just scarring, absolutely scarring. Just kidding. After that, we have to talk about the off-brand Willy Wonka factory that's been sparking a lot of conversation online. Plus, there's a couple in Missouri who celebrated a few major milestones in a very short window.
Wow.
Yeah, all very interesting stories coming up. But first, it is indeed the first day of March, as Hunter told us, and we wanted to start this month off on a high note, talking about a few of the holidays that are celebrated on March 1st. So here are just a few of them. It's National Minnesota Day. We've got World Compliment Day and National Employee Appreciation Day, too, which some of our work leaders here did a really nice thing. And
Work leaders.
Work leaders.
I couldn't think of the right term. Bosses.
There we go.
Yeah, our
Managers.
bosses. Managers,
Okay.
there we go.
Yeah.
Did a really nice thing for us on Employee Appreciation Day and laid out a nice breakfast spread. I think there's a ice cream bar coming up maybe
Yeah,
later
this afternoon.
2 o'clock if you want to head on down. Don't do that. But it's going to be really
Come on
good.
down, and we might have extras. Probably won't have extras.
There's going to be no
But
extra.
I want you guys to know, well, we appreciate you out there and all you viewers and employees, and I appreciate you both, and I want you to know you're both wonderful co-hosts on the show since it was also World Compliment Day. So
ditto.
you are both great at your job.
Ditto. Copy and paste right back to you, my
Copy,
friend.
Control C, Control V.
What a genuine way to compliment someone back. Ditto.
Copy paste and right back.
Right back at
Hunter
you.
just gets nervous sometimes, I think, and he's just like, yeah, ditto.
Ditto.
Or what's the other thing you say towards the end of amen to that?
Amen to that, Ryan. Amen to that.
Yep. Happy World Compliment Day to you folks. And as we celebrate this fresh new start, why not spend the day working on a better you? And apparently there is one word you should start using more to be more influential. According to an article by CNBC, a Harvard University study finds that using the word because while trying to convince someone to do something has a more compelling result and more people will listen to you and do what you want. So for example, instead of something like, can I borrow that? Can I borrow that because A, B, and C, and down the line. So you just prove yourself better, I think, when you're in that situation.
I think I add in because too, just because, or like in the case of can I borrow that because I needed to do this and this, I want to give someone like a really good reason so I don't feel so guilty, for
Yeah.
You don't want to come
taking their
across as
item.
mean.
Right. I just need them to know, like, you're doing me a big favor because I need to do all this. So I have to justify it somehow. I don't know.
I'm not a parent, but I feel like that would be a good thing to like teach your kids too out there when
Yeah.
you're like kids, like especially when it comes to sharing or the kids that might want something that somebody else is using and be like, I want that because, it looks like a cool toy.
I used that.
I need that because.
When I was little, I would always just say because and not have like something following. So like, why do you want to do this, Hunter? Because. Like what? No, you got to explain yourself, Hunter.
Yeah.
Continue to talk.
And then along with because as well, if you're talking about something that maybe it's like a favorite of yours, use the word recommend instead of the word like. So you come across maybe a little more smart in your conversations with strangers.
Recommend, a powerful word, has a lot of influence.
I recommend
It's
it.
fancier word.
If you're going to go on a vacation soon, which I highly recommend, there's a new packing method that's gaining steam on social media. It's called the 3-3-3 method. The concept is fairly simple. You just choose 3 tops, 3 bottoms, and then 3 pairs of shoes to create some different outfit combinations. According to one fashion influencer, this rule helps address the fear of overpacking, and you still end up with more than a dozen looks that easily fit in your carry-on luggage too. I really could have used this before I went to Hawaii. Our suitcase, I'm embarrassed to say, which was a checked bag.
Was it
59 pounds.
Oh my God!
59 for one bag?
Pounds. Yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. Yeah, for both of us. Both of our stuff was
Is there
in
a
the same
limit
bag.
though? Is it like 50 a limit?
50 is the limit before you have to start paying extra.
And they start throwing them
Yeah.
off the plane.
Yeah, and I will say the extra fee was a lot more than I was anticipating. So I was like, I should have weighed this back at home.
Would you bring some CrossFit weights or something in the bag?
I wish I did to explain why it was so heavy, but like, no, I just put everything I thought I could ever possibly need.
That's where Matt traveled. Matt was in the suitcase.
Yeah.
Cost saving measure.
Yeah, exactly.
You had Matt's lights in there, you had Harry in there and CJ in there. But when I pack too, it's like, oh, you're on a 5-day vacation. I'm like, all right, well, I need like 10 pairs of pants and I need this because obviously I'm going to work out every day. Obviously, I'm going to be really sweaty after these workouts. And then it's like I have more clean clothes brought back than dirty clothes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm definitely an underpacker because I'm scarred from my parents who are significant overpackers. Especially my dad. We're going to a gig. We're staying in a hotel for like a night. And I have to haul out 4 bags or whatever, throw them in the back of my truck. He's got like shovels. He's got like the first aid kit. He's got a million like things like, Dad, you're not going to use any of that stuff. He's got wool. He's a big wool guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's got 500 outfits for all different occasions. Never uses any of them. But it's good that he has them. It's good that he has them.
Sometimes you just don't know what you might want to wear.
Yeah, that's true.
You just don't know.
That's true.
You never know.
You bought
I
it.
feel like your dad and Briggs would get along.
Yeah.
Probably.
Talking about packing.
Yes.
We might need to go to like an Overpackers Anonymous group or something. Jeez.
Not a bad idea.
Coming up, Ryan's going to share his problems with buying milk. Welcome back. I think most of us have thought about compiling a bucket list or a number of activities we'd like to do or places we want to see throughout our lives. But for this week's Top 5, we're going to share the things we already have experienced or done before, but for whatever reason, we don't ever want to do it again. So, Hunter, we're going to start with your list.
Oh, let's see what I put down. This was a few hours ago now, but number one, number one is black licorice. I hate black licorice. I tried it one time when I was little, and my parents love it. It's another thing. It's my parents love and that we hate, me and my brother, and they get black licorice ice cream and just all sorts. It's like, I don't know. And then their breath smells like black licorice.
Is that one of the items your dad packs along with the shovels? Packs to buy the wool and the shovels in his car?
Willy Wallabies, black licorice laced all over his suitcase. Oh my gosh! Right next to the shovels.
You never know when you need it.
Exactly.
Underneath your hotel pillow. Yeah.
Gross. Number 2, licking a pole in the winter. Come on, everybody.
You
tries
actually
it.
did that?
Well, so I licked my dad's truck.
Why?
We didn't have many poles out in Brimson, so we had just trucks out there.
Poleless Brimson. A severe lack of poles. Shoot.
And so, what provoked you to want to lick your dad's truck?
I was just curious, I was out there alone, and I'm like, that's a cool truck.
Last year, or when you were younger?
I was 18,
Okay.
No, I was probably 5 or 6 or something like that. And so I had to do the whole, scrape it off, and it was bleeding for a little bit. And now we're good now, but everything grew back. Tissue was all good to go. But
Ideal.
I don't recommend
Did
doing
you have
that.
to go to the doctor?
No, I didn't, surprisingly.
good, okay.
It was all good. But what's number 3 here?
What is it?
Moving on. Waiting too long to take the dock out. I think you Northlanders know what this is all about. Like when it gets too cold and there's even like some ice forming out on the water and you have to stand in the water to take the dock out. Not a pleasant experience, that's for sure. Number 4, my dad found, even before we were born, a moose jaw in the woods. And so he brought it home, and when I think it was 10 years old or something, brought it in for show and tell, and on the way home on the bus, I accidentally sat on it and I broke the moose jaw. And back in those days, my dad was doing college down at the VA hospital, and so we'd have to wait a whole week until he got home, and then he'd punish us somehow. And that happened like on a Monday, so I'm waiting like 5 days. I know there's gonna be something coming.
The threat.
Right.
You're planning on how you're going to move out.
Oh my gosh.
Collect your
Hunter
things.
runs away.
I gotta go. I don't know where I'm gonna go.
sad.
But number 5, I just
Buttermilk?
recently, for the first time, tried buttermilk, and I do not recommend that to anybody. It tastes like sour cream, like you're drinking sour cream. So don't suggest that. That's for sure.
Get to Briggs' list.
What about you, Briggs?
Okay, my first one was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my entire life. I got to fly in an F-16 with the Thunderbirds one year for the air show, but it was also the scariest thing I have by far ever done. So I don't think I need to do it again, but it was absolutely fantastic. in the moment. I did a 24-hour rowing competition this last winter where I was on a team of 4 people. We rowed for 24 hours switching off. I definitely don't want to do that again.
No.
Nope, that was a little much.
A little too long.
Your arms are still sore, probably.
Yeah, it was taxing. It was certainly taxing. Number 3, work the complete overnight shift again. I enjoyed the morning show.
Yeah.
Loved how much fun you get to have, but man, that midnight till 8 a.m. shift, that takes a toll on you.
We're not who we once were.
No.
Right.
We're not as spry as we like to believe we are.
We've seen some things overnight, yeah. And then number 4, the pumpkin spice latte. No matter where I get it from, just not that big of a fan.
That's a hot
every
take.
time. I know, it really is. It's just, I always crack it up to more in my mind than it really, more than I want it to be, I guess.
And for the folks out there who don't know, PSL, pumpkin spice latte.
Yes.
Is that what that stands
In
for?
case you want to do the shorter, the
hip
term.
kids.
Yeah, the hip. If you want the
Okay.
hip. PSL.
And you guys had some questions about this one, but
Yeah.
visiting Boston, I know, my brother went to school out there for college, and there was so much honking. It was just constant honking. You'd roll up to the stoplight, and it would turn green and immediate, just honk, 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 honk.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's a Boston, New York thing, so you
Yeah.
can add New York to the list too.
They're all jerks,
It's
is what
just
you're
my
saying.
anxiety was fueled.
Sure, gotcha.
I get it.
My sister went to grad school in Boston,
Oh.
and she said traffic was just terrible.
Yeah.
Just otherworldly.
Minnesota Nice has
Yeah.
always let them into the lane.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead, buddy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
What's mine? Buy a full gallon of milk. I live by myself. I thought I could tackle a whole gallon of milk before it expires, but every single time I take it out, it's it has been a couple days. I'm not a big cereal guy, and so all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's already expired. And so it's not even worth it anymore. It's better than having to buy the half gallon because of price, but I'm not going to buy a full gallon anymore just because it goes bad. 2, we're all adults now. We don't need to put 5 people in a car for a long road trip. Just take 2 cars instead. I've been on a 5-hour road trip with all adults sitting in the back. I'm 6'1". It's just a terrible experience. Purchasing multiple pairs of pants at once. My weight has fluctuated in the past years, and so I buy a ton at once, and then years later now I'm none of these fit.
Like a value pack of pants? What do you got?
Especially at Costco, they got the guys nice
sure.
pants, and so it's I'll buy this because they look nice, and then now I just threw out a ton of my pants the other day. 4, horseradish. My dad one time told me it was ranch, and I put my wing in it and had a full thing of horseradish. Not good.
Did your nose almost fall off?
Yeah, it was a tough day. And then number 5, my sisters both went to grad school and completed grad school. I do not want to do anything with school, so I'm glad that's done.
Yeah.
But happy that it happened.
Good for you, man.
Good list there, folks. Hey, coming up, a Willy Wonka themed event is going viral, and we just got to talk about it. You've probably already seen this on air or online, but my goodness, it is worth talking about again. In Scotland, Willy's Chocolate Experience was marketed as an immersive experience, promising optical marvels and extraordinary props, but attendees there were let down by a poorly decorated warehouse that didn't even come close to the ads.
Is that supposed to be Willy?
That's supposed to be Willy.
God,
No offense to that guy. I'm
yeah.
sure he's a nice young man.
Yeah.
But the event did advertise chocolate fountains, performances by Oompa Loompas, and interactive experiences for $44 a ticket.
Whoa!
And one father said the kids just received 2 jelly beans and a quarter cup of lemonade. And there was not even any chocolate, too.
Look at those sad kids just looking like, where's the chocolate coming out of this?
They were disappointed, to say the least. Organizers did have to cancel it early, and they did apologize and offered full refunds. You don't think those picnic tables offer a Willy Wonka
Not even a plastic tablecloth.
I get high school vibes.
Yeah, like a bad prom theme or something,
Exactly, yeah.
I know that there's been a lot of those immersive experiences that have come up. I know down at the Mall of America, I think it was, they had the Van Gogh immersive experience where they're in there, you're supposed to be surrounded by all these wonderful images. So I think people were kind of looking for that when they wanted a little Willy Wonka action. And we see the movies too, and the movies are so cool. But
Magical and mystical.
yeah, that was anything but magical or mystical.
You almost wonder if this was a whole ruse just to get talked about. But then it's nobody's ever going to go back to one of your events.
That's true.
Probably, so it doesn't matter.
We're talking about it here out in Scotland. We're talking about it in northern Minnesota.
Northern Minnesota swindled.
Yikes. Well, a Missouri couple was just days away from their wedding, but their unborn newborn baby had some other plans. The soon-to-be bride went into labor 5 weeks early, so the couple said, "I do" in between contractions right in the delivery room. The contractions were 7 minutes apart, and they say the groom struggled putting on the bride's ring. I'm sure she was just like, "Oh, let's get this over with." The bedsheet bride made a sort of toga to wear, and the wedding cake was from the hospital cafeteria. The guest of honor, little baby Oliver, arrived 9.5 hours after the wedding. Oh my gosh. Making the best of things, that's for sure.
Do you think like they had to hold hands like while they were getting married, and then like maybe a contraction would come and she'd just grab his hands and break them?
But talk about babies. Little Miss Avalon, Kendall and Alex's daughter, was just at the station.
Yeah.
And remember when we did the story with her, she was so small. And I mean, it's only been a couple weeks now. And especially like my niece too, Bridget. It's just amazing how fast the kids grow. And you're like, please slow down.
I'm out.
I saw you at 1 day old, and now you're like fully eyes open, like looking at your hands and feet.
Avalon's driving already.
Yeah, she got her license. She was like kind of laughing, a little chuckle down in the newsroom too, and I was like, oh, it was so cute.
She was so cute. Well, hey, for parents out there, psychotherapists want to make sure that you're helping your kids avoid perfectionism. So perfectionism is defined as a personality trait when a person sets, quote, unreasonably high standards and unrealistic expectations for themselves. It's often coupled with intense self-criticism. So doctors out there say children and teens need to hear that nobody is perfect and there is no expectation for them to be either. And parents can also help by focusing on your child's effort and not the outcome.
Yeah, that's tough, especially in the world of social media, because, you know, it is the highlight reel. So whenever you do something that's really good, you post about it, other kids see it, and maybe they're like, hey, why am I not quite advancing to that level just yet? It can be tough.
It's already tough to be a kid, and then, like I said, I can't imagine living in that world where you have that kind of access to everything. Like, we were just before, like, the big social media, you know? Everyone has social media now. It's crazy.
Just remember, nobody's perfect. You are great with who you are.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Aw.
Well, before we head to break, a viewer of ours wanted to share an awesome fundraiser. We're going to talk about it after the break. Here's that awesome fundraiser we were talking about. The Lake Superior Warriors is a nonprofit charity helping disabled military veterans through the game of hockey. The Disabled Veteran Hockey Club serves veterans in northeastern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, and western Michigan. Their 2024 fundraising event is going to be held at Warrior Brewing in Duluth. That's coming up Saturday, tomorrow at 3 p.m. and it's open to the public. So if you want to stop by, all the money raised there going to a very good cause. Yeah. Sounds like they're going to have some music, dinner, and silent auction.
Sounds like a great time. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll tell you what, coming up next week as we go into our first official week of March, we do have a lot going on. Traveling to Hermantown, where we get to make a bottle of wine with the team at Wine Creations. We'll even open up the first bottle on Northern Life wine here in the studio. Ooh. I'll tell you what, it's always a good day when you get to drink a little bit on the job, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And these folks are just so much fun too, and they know a ton about wine. So
yeah.
You're gonna learn a lot from that one. And coming up on Tuesday, Ryan and I are blindfolded and brought to our main news studio where we're put on the clock by Hunter having to tackle a new profession. This was very interesting,
I will say. And before we go too quickly, Hunter, good luck to you tonight.
Thank you.
The Stars should be a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. I'm excited
to hear about it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend.
Find some time to throw a line or just head outside to unwind. That's the life in the great North Woods. Hike or bike, whatever you like. Get out in the day, enjoy the night. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, this is Northern Life.